In this installment of Lessons from a Pro, I'm speaking with Dane Jackson. Dane Jackson is currently the associate head coach at the University of North Dakota, a prestigious Division I program down in the U.S. And he is that's also his alma mater. That's where he played his university hockey, coming from the Vernon Lakers up here at the BCJHL. Dane also had a professional career where he was drafted third in the third round by the Vancouver Canucks, went on to play 45 NHL games, but also hundreds in the American League, where he was recognized as being a leader. Not only was he recognized as being a leader, he was also recognized as being a winner because he won a Calder Cup championship down there in the American Hockey League. Dane had some really interesting things to say about intention when I asked him what intention meant to a hockey player. Check this out.
We had I'm blanking on his first name, but he's a inspirational speaker down in the States. That was I think a Navy SEAL and stuff. This Goggins, and he came.
Oh, you had Dave Goggins in there?
Yeah, he came and talked to our guys, and he was impressive because he came in and guys were just kind of sitting in our room, and I believe it was the year we won the national title, so we had a lot of good players, and he picked up Paul Ledoux, who was sitting right in the front. And he said, "Hey, what are you thinking about right now?" And he was kind of like going, I didn't really have a great answer. And, his whole thing is like, you wake up with a purpose to your day if you want to get ahead, and that question you asked just kind of jogged my memory back to that, because that was his whole thing. He's like, you don't just wake up and, hope the wind's going to blow you in the right direction and you'll do well, right? You wake up with a plan, you wake up with a purpose, and it's kind of day to day, but you keep stacking up those good days and you get to where you want to go. And, I think of Johnny Taves, like he was the very best of being intentional about what he was doing, and he was the first guy I ever heard talk about, say, hey, my day starts before is how early I go to bed, because then I can get up early. I'll be that much sharper. I'll be that much more ready, and
so now when Dane Jackson is asked about intention, he instantly goes back to an opportunity where they had Dave Goggins in their locker room during their championship year. Now, if you don't know who Dave Goggins is, I suggest you look him up. He came up with a book called Can't Hurt Me. His story is quite phenomenal, compelling, a little bit rough around the edges. He does curse, he swears, he's not afraid to use the F word. So for some of you younger listeners out there, be wary of that. But his message is pretty solid, and it's right to the mark with, if you want something, go get it. Prove to yourself every day that you can get it. Set yourself an intention and go after it. And every time you go after something, every time you run into some adversity, every time you do something you didn't think you couldn't do before, you expand your horizon and you understand your limitless potential, and you can operate at a higher frequency. So Dave Goggins is he's a powerful, powerful voice. And he's talking about stacking days on top of each other. He's talking about waking up with a plan. What do you want to do? Who do you want to become? Have a plan for it. Don't wait for it to happen. And then he references what? Jonathan Taves, one of the most recognized, respected leaders in the NHL today, with 2 Stanley Cups under his belt. And he's talking about when he coached him, Jonathan Taves, at UND. Now, here's a guy who's 18 years old, 19 years old, having the maturity and the responsibility at that time to say, you know what, my day starts when I go to bed, because I can get up earlier. I can be better the next day. That's the type of level of focus you want. And that's what I'm talking about, why focus matters, right? And when we want to clear the air, if something bad happens, if something's pushing us off course, we need to have that goal in mind. Where do I want to get to? Who do I want to become? Because it closes the gap, as you've heard me say before, between getting in a slump, getting off course, feeling sorry for yourself, feeling like a victim. You have a greater reason to move forward. So intention is clear. Have that intention about where you want to get to and how you're going to do it. Get a plan, get a process, and stick to it. Cheers, guys.